Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Red with a team of only one Machop was really weird, but not overly hard, so let's do one that literally one person asked for. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Red with a team of only one Beedrill? You guys are probably wondering exactly who asked for this run, and I'll get back to you on that soon. First, we need to talk about the stats on this thing. Our stats are passable, but pretty low for a third form Pokemon, especially considering that this is Gen 1, so as you can see at the bottom, our special is only 45. That drags down our actual base stat total. We're also bug and poison, so we have a lot of common weaknesses. Psychic Pokemon are especially dangerous in Gen 1 since they're so fast, hit so hard, and we have super low special. I expect Alakazam to be a brick wall. Lastly, our moves are terrible. We have Poison Sting from our time as a Weedle, and at least that's something, but Fury Attack is trash. Focus Energy is glitched in Gen 1 and actually makes you crit less often. Twin Needle and Pin Missile are both pretty weak. Rage in Gen 1 is one of the worst moves you can use, and Agility is only good for setting up the badge boost glitch, and I'm only willing to use that if it's an absolute last resort. Lastly, the only TMs that we can learn are the ones we probably don't need, other than possibly Double Team and Sword Stance. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I think that I can win, but not without being level 100. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Beedrill, or Weedle and Kakuna for the sake of earlier in the run. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Bulbasaur with Weedle so that we can do the whole run with it. I replaced Bulbasaur so that my rival would have Charizard, the hardest for us to fight. I name him Butterfree, because that's hilarious. So, while I start my grind in Viridian Forest, I'm sure that you guys have lots of questions that I'm gonna have to answer here. First, yeah, we're starting with a Weedle. I know I could just start with Beedrill, but I figured that this would be a little bit harder without impacting the mid to late game. Just toughening up the early game a little bit, so I did it. Also, you're probably all mad that I didn't name my Beedrill something different because of the incredibly well-edited videos that Jake Macaulay, not sure if I'm saying that right, has been making with a Weedle. Well, I've got no interest in stealing anyone's thunder, so check out at the top of the description if you want to see a link to his channel. It's really good, I've actually been watching it for about a year now off and on. As for what makes my challenge today difficult, we're not allowed to use items in battle, and that's the only way that Weedle can beat the game, so that's why we're using Beedrill. Who asked for this video, though? That'd be Genichi on Twitter. Not sure if I'm saying that right. Yesterday was their birthday, so happy belated birthday! Yes, I did this entire video because one person asked for it for their birthday. I'm probably not going to do this again because I don't want to open a floodgate that definitely can't be closed, but let's hope this makes for a good run today. To be honest, I couldn't think of anything else. The suggestion came up on my timeline, and I decided, sure, why not? Anyway, after an agonizing 15 minutes of having to retreat all the way back to Route 1 just to find something that I can beat, then healing after almost every single fight, we hit level 7 and evolve into Kakuna. This results in a raise in defense but a drop in attack and speed, so it's not necessarily an upgrade. We stand no chance against Brock without hitting level 10 at least though and becoming a Beedrill. At level 8, we're finally strong enough to beat the first bug catcher, but the second one's Kakuna ends up stalling us out badly. I love that our last Poison Sting crit just to bring it to red health and rub salt in the wound, since I now have to use 40 string shots to struggle it down. This is my job, folks. Roughly 1,000 years later, and we run out of string shots and we take him out. If this wasn't Gen 1, then his Kakuna would have run out of power points first and taken himself out with struggle, but in Gen 1 our opponents have unlimited power points. Finally, after taking it out though, he pulls out another Weedle and we end up going down. Well, I know what trainer I'll avoid next time. Anyway, after another solid 15 minutes of grinding on Rattata and Pidgey, we finally hit level 10 and finally evolve into a Beedrill. That doubled our attack and speed, so grinding should be easier, but I know that we still aren't ready for Brock. At least I can probably make my way through the forest now, though. At level 11, I attempt to fight Brock, but it's obviously just not happening yet. Poison Sting does 1 damage, and even when we poison him, Brock infamously has an ocean of full heals, so we can't get a poison to actually stick. Even with him mostly picking terrible moves, we don't stand a chance. we might actually not be able to win this fight until we learn Twin Needle at level 20. So I guess a lot of the video is gonna be right here, isn't it? So what you're watching right now is me grinding up to level 13 after failing against Brock. It took about 15 minutes. I don't need to heal nearly as often as I used to, and the fact that I now have Fury Attack means that I have a bit of an easier time against Pokemon that I can't poison, like other Weedles and Kakuna. On one hand, it's super slow and boring, but on the other hand, it can't compare to how bad it was to grind Shuckle at this part of the game, so I can't really complain too much. Part of me wants to plug something, since it's customary for me to plug something during a long grind, but I get the feeling that we are going to have plenty of grinds in this run, so let's just move on for now. At level 16, I try again, this time with Fury Attack. It does much better because although we miss quite a bit, any attack that we do right now would only do 1 damage anyway, so as long as Fury Attack hits, it'll always do between 2 and 5 times more damage than Poison Sting does in this fight. 5 times 1 is still only 5 damage though, but we're taking what we can get here. It surprisingly is actually enough to take out Geodude, but we don't last very long against Onix. I was thinking Onix would be easier since we have String Shot to stall out his bides, but he mostly used Tackle, so we went down. Also, as a reminder, Focus Energy actually divides your chance of getting a critical hit in Gen 1, rather than multiplying it, so we're not going to use it. Yes, Gen 1 is programmed so badly that there's an entire move that just sabotages your chance to critically hit the opponent. That's kind of hilarious, actually. I try again one last time at level 19, and weirdly enough, things just go way better. We're now seemingly hitting 2 or 3 damage on Geodude, and even use Defense Curl really late. Not only that, but Fury Attack was hitting 4 or 5 hits way more often. Even once we get to Onix, when we go back to dealing only 1 damage, we're still doing great. It missed Screech tons of times, and I just can wait out his bides because of String Shot. It always feels good to beat this gym at a lower level than I expect. Anyway, next is the Water Gym, but on my way I took the Helix Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. You know, I've been doing that joke almost every single run for over a year now. Can you believe that I've been doing these Pokemon challenges every single week for over a year? That's gotta be the most consistent track record, right? I would imagine. Water Gym time. I open with a sweet critical hit on Staryu with our new Twin Needle to take it out without having to take a hit. Second is Starmie and is part Psychic type, so for once we actually have a move that's good against it. It hit Water Gun for some damage, and our Twin Needle almost took it out. Starmie crit its Bubble Beam to nearly take us out, then we finished it off. That's rare that we get the Water Gym on the first try. After that is the next rival fight. Pidgeotto is first, and I probably shouldn't be using Twin Needle, but between the same type attack bonus and higher accuracy and the chance of poison, I figured that it'd be better than Fury Attack. I lost about half my health before taking it down. Aber can't fight back, but next is Rattata, and although we one-shot it with Twin Needle, he's smart and hit a quick attack. Last is Charmander, and I was worried when he survived Twin Needle and then hit Ember, but it didn't do very much, and it didn't burn us, so we easily finished it. That actually went better than I was expecting. To the north, we still have to handle a bunch of trainers, but I try to fight the least amount of them possible. Sometimes I see people saying that I try to solve everything just by over-leveling, but what you guys don't usually see, because I don't usually have a reason to talk about it honestly, is that unless I know that the next gym is either impossible at my current level, or there's a move that I need to level up and get, I'll try to avoid fights to try and keep my level lower to make it harder. I only intentionally try to level up if I think that I actually need it. The challenge isn't me trying to beat the game at the lowest level possible anyway. The challenge is that I've been making a Pokemon challenge video every single week for about a year now, alongside also uploading a video a day minimum for the last 9 years. When I started doing Pokemon Challenge, I never stopped doing anything that I was doing before. All I did was add another many hours to my weekly workload. The challenge isn't how well I can do on the challenge, it's if I can literally do it when I only have a 1-week time limit. I don't use emulator speed up, I have to legit grind to get my levels, and I have also a full-time job worth of work hours on other work to do outside of my Pokemon challenges. That's why if you look at the titles of these videos, the title is Can I Beat, rather than Can You Beat. I'm not trying to figure out if it's possible, I'm just trying to challenge myself. The only person I'm measuring myself up against is me. If I can be better than I was yesterday, then I'm going where I want to go, you know? An upward trend of improving myself. That's kind of what I'm aiming for here. Anyway, next is the Ssn Rival Fight. We open with a decent 3-hit Fury attack on Pidgeotto, but it sand attacks us, so our accuracy will be down a lot from this whole fight. I follow up with a Poison Sting since it has higher accuracy, and we manage to bring it into red health and poison it. We take it down shortly after, but we do get crit by a Gust. Raticate hits Quick Attack, throw a bit of damage, but one shot of Twin Needle took it down, and Kadabra was a one-shot as well. I'll learn how to spell eventually, trust me. Last is Charmeleon, and I Twin Needle to do decent damage and poison him. He crits Ember, and we almost go down, but our next Fury attack hits 4 times, giving us the win. Before we leave town, we have to do the Electric Gym. Right away, we missed Pin Missile on Voltorb, and he used an X speed, then hit us with Sonic Boom. We hit Pin Missile for a 3-strike in return, took another Sonic Boom, then finished it with Twin Needle. Our health is about half when Pikachu comes out. Hits us with a Quick Attack for a bit of damage, but our Pin Missile takes him out in one volley. Last is Raichu, who hangs on, hits Thunderbolt to bring us to only 9 health, and we finish it with a critical Twin Needle. That was way closer than I was expecting. After that and a long trek through Rock Tunnel, we're finally almost at the Grass Gym. We're starting to run into a few more fire types with the trainers in this area, and that always makes me a little bit worried, but that's exactly why I kept Fury Attack. It's basically just normal type Pin Missile, but I kind of need it for fighting fire types. It's dire when that's my best move for them, but that's what we've got. The Grass Gym, though, was a total beatdown. For whatever strange reason, in Gen 1, Poison and Bug are both super effective against each other. That means that Bug moves do 4 times damage against Victory Bell and Vileplume. We swept her team with Pin Missile and then started learning Agility at the end, so I finally got around to replacing String Shot. This will almost for sure be replaced with Swords Dance though, since I'll need any kind of attack boost that I can get by the end of the game. Speaking of Swords Dance, we can't get it until we get into the Self-Co building, so I go after Giovanni in the Rocket Hideout to make some progress. For once though, I'm actually failing in my attempts at the first Giovanni fight. I'm heavily reliant on multi-hit moves to not only hit multiple times, but to hit in the first place. Twin Needle has 100 accuracy, but it can only hit twice. Pin Missile's gonna do more damage 2/3 of the time that it hits, but it can also completely outright miss. It also can't cause poisoning like Twin Needle, so I'm not really sure what the better move is between them for this fight, so I just tried a bunch of both. Even on great runs where I take out Onix without getting hit by Rock Throw, I can get taken from pretty much full health to almost nothing off Kangaskhan's Comet Punch, because if you critically hit the first part of a multi-hit move in Gen 1, then each other part of the multi-hit move will do extra damage too. Naturally, I get critically hit by Comet Punch all the time. After 20 failed attempts on Giovanni, I decide to try my luck at the Pokemon Tower Rival Fight instead, but because he has a Water Onix and it's part Flying, our bug moves are doing just about nothing. Our only non-bug move that we can fight it with is Fury Attack, and it's awful. Considering Water Onix has Dragon Rage and we have so little health, we don't stand a chance yet. 5 tries later, and we finally get this run where Water Onix mostly uses Bite, and we get lucky on the multi-hit moves, at least enough to take him down. We missed Kadabra a bunch of times with Twin Needle because Pidgeotto hit a Sand attack, but Kadabra was just using Teleport, so we still won. Last was Charmeleon, and we did open with a pretty good Fury attack, but quickly he hit us with Ember, burnt us so our attack was down, we missed the move that could have finished him, and he crit us with Ember to finish us off. I swear, Sand Attack is the most frustrating move in the world when you're grinding out attempts. 10 agonizing attempts later, and I get to Charmeleon with almost full health and no accuracy drops. Fury Attack hits 3 times to bring him to half health, his Ember burns us again, our next Fury Attack hits 3 times, but is only half as strong as before, and he Embers us for even more damage. We hit another 3-strike Fury Attack to bring him to a sliver, then he crit us with Ember to take us down. What is my luck today? I never get burned this often. Finally, on my next attempt, when I actually get to Charmeleon, I don't get burned or crit, and Fury Attack hits just enough for me to get the win with only 17 health left. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna fight every last trainer in Pokemon Tower because I think it's obvious that our stats are way too low for us to get by with moves this weak. Since we can't finish the tower without Giovanni's Self-Scope unless we use a glitch, I go back to Giovanni, and somehow, our first attempt back at him, with us only being 4 levels higher, we completely mop the floor with his team because he just picks bad moves the whole fight. I swear he's just pranking us at this point. With that done, I thought the Poison Gym would be easy since we're super effective against it and they can't poison us, but even going into the Wheezing fight with full health, his non-critical self-destruct took us out. Alright, we can actually enter Silphco now, so I need to stop dragging my feet and just grab this TM. We replace Agility since I probably wasn't ever going to need it anyway. Swords Dance raises your attack by 2 stages, so it's a pretty solid setup move. We're pretty frail, so we don't always have the easiest time sitting around and powering up, but it's better than just brute forcing it and hoping for the best. After a few more tries on the Poison Gym, this time using Swords Dance, and it goes well. His first coughing didn't attack us, so we got our chance to power up a bit. Then we started sweeping until Wheezing. We ended up critting Wheezing, definitely doing less damage than a non-crit since crits don't take stat changes into account and we have a lot of extra attack. He used an X attack instead of just blowing up this time though, so I easily finished him. Again, if he fought like this before, I'd have easily beaten him without Swords Dance. This whole run feels like it's a prank on me. I tried Rival Fivel sub to J-Rose while I was there, but it's just not happening yet. Even after using 3 Swords Dances to max out our attack, Fury Attack still couldn't even take out his starting Pidgeot. That's just how weak we are. I go ahead and grab the TM for Swift. This is honestly something that I should have remembered to do sooner. Fury Attack has a power of 15 and can hit up to 5 times. Swift can't miss and also has a power of 60. This means that not only is Swift more reliable, but 4 out of 5 times it's stronger or as strong as Fury Attack. So this is probably a much better choice. Finally, it's time for a proper Rival Fivel fight. I start by using Swords Dance all 3 times while taking wing attacks. One missed due to the 256 glitch, weirdly enough, but it wouldn't have taken me out anyway. I took him out with Swift, Execute went down to a Twin Needle, and Water Onyx took half of his health in damage off a critical Swift, wasted his time with Leer, then went down to the follow-up. Alakazam was outsped and went down to 1 Twin Needle, and last was Charizard, but 1 Swift took him out. Swords Dance might be a run saver here. I'm just happy the run saver wasn't Double Team. Everyone gets mad about Double Team. After that is the usually easy Silphco Giovanni fight, and thanks to my 3 Swords Dances and Bug being good against Poison in this gen, we pretty much just crushed him. Maybe 3 Swords Dances was overkill, but he also has Rock types, so I didn't really have much of an alternative. After that is the Psychic Gym, but Bug is good against it, and we're reasonably fast, so it's pretty easy. Alakazam probably could have one-shot me with a crit if he wanted to, but instead they used Psywave, and it failed them again by totally missing, so we swept Sabrina's team. Psywave truly is an albatross. Next is Blaine's Fire Gym, and he is such a bad trainer that he mostly just used Agility with Growlithe while I set up Swords Dance. He used Ember once, and the crit took out almost half my health, so he absolutely could have destroyed me, but he just chose to use bad moves, so we ended up crushing most of his team, even with us having almost no level advantage. Even his Arcanine could have taken me out, but he just used a Super Potion instead. Last is Giovanni's Ground Gym. Rhyhorn is first, so I start using Swords Dance while he misses Horn Drills and hits a pretty weak Stomp. Even after 3 Swords Dances, Swift only did half his health and damage, and we finished him off with Twin Needle. Dugtrio was a one-shot due to his low health and defense, as were Nidoqueen and Nidoking because of them being part poison type. Last is Rhydon, and our Twin Needle did tons of damage. He probably could have hurt us bad, but he just used a guard spec, so we won. With that done, we have one last rival fight before the Elite Four. Pidgeot starts with Agility and wing attacks early, so I only used 2 Swords Dances and took Pidgeot out with Swift. Rhyhorn is second, so I get my last Swords Dance in, he misses Tail Whip, and Twin Needle takes him out. Execute was a one-shot, and Water Onyx easily hangs on at half health, uses Leer again, hangs on from another Twin Needle because of us critting and thus doing less damage, but he wasted more time, so we just took him out. Alakazam is faster and hits Psychic though, so we went down pretty fast. Many tries later, and thanks to leveling up off failed attempts for ages, hoping that Alakazam would pick a bad move, we actually ended up outspeeding him and just taking him out in 1 Swift, as well as the Charizard after him. Well, I guess that's one solution. Here's our stats now. We're level 56, and our defense and special are pretty horrible. We've got 3 things in our favor right now. High speed, high attack, and Swords Dance to try and outmuscle them. On the other hand, though, we can't take very big hits without going down, and our attacking moves are all pretty weak. I mean, our strongest individual attacking move is a normal move with a power of 60. I think it's safe to say that I'll need to grind at least a little bit here. I decide that the Seafoam Islands are a fine enough place for this grind. Victory Road is just too slow right now thanks to all the rock types. I'm gonna need quite a few levels though. Our rival is the final boss, and he's gonna have a level 59 Alakazam who can for sure one-shot us. But we can also one-shot him. Problem is, our base speed is 75, and Alakazam's base speed is 120. Now, the gap isn't quite that massive because of the small boost of speed that we're going to be getting because of the Electric Gym's badge. That also means that when I use Swords Dance, it's going to raise our speed regardless because Gen 1 is so buggy, but without Swords Dance, there's absolutely no way we can win this, and I'm doing it specifically for the attack, so this is as fair as I can make it, without just insta-dying. While I'm grinding, if I can promote someone real quick, my friends Mandy and Dylan from the channel My Dumb Boyfriend animated a storytime video for me that's up on this channel. It's all about the home invasion story when Gooset and myself accidentally invaded Mandy's home over Skype live on stream a few years ago. The link to the video will be in a card on screen as well as near the top of the description. It's just a 4-minute video, so it's an easy watch, and if you enjoy it, you can watch her side of the story on her channel. They do fun stuff, so I hope you check them out. They've been really good friends to me for many, many years, including long before I was ever kind of internet famous, so I'd really appreciate it if you checked them out. Anyway, after the grind, we're at level 63. I picked that number because I figured that after beating the Elite Four, I'd level up twice, and level 65 is the same level as our rival's Charizard, so I thought that that would be a fair first attempt. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Ice Trainer Lorelei. I was a little worried at first, but I forgot that Dugong is just gonna spam Rest because it's Psychic, so we get in our Swords Dances and easily plow through the whole team. Second is Fighting Trainer Bruno. It starts off really worrying when even after 3 Swords Dances, Swift doesn't do much damage to Onix. Onix has crazy defense, but it also has really low max health, so I was surprised it didn't do more. It couldn't hurt us much though, so Twin Needle messed it up pretty fast, and the rest of his team was pretty much just a sweep with Swift. Third is Ghost Trainer Agatha. Gengar is first and is using Nightshade, so I only get to set up 2 of my Swords Dances instead of the full 3. But because she uses Poison types and Bug is good against Poison in Gen 1, Twin Needle made really short work of her team. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Dragon. That is a beautiful typo that what he told me about in the script, and I refuse to change because that is absolutely hilarious. That is wonderful. There was no way I was fully awake when I wrote that. First is Water Onix, and he's a scary one, so I Swords Dance as he misses his first Leer, Swords Dance a second time, and he hits a Dragon Rage, so I switch to Swift. It does great damage, he misses Hydro Pump, thankfully, and we finish him. Now, his Dragonairs and Dragonite just spam stuff like Agility and Barrier since they're Psychic moves, so I get my last Swords Dance in, one-shot the Dragonairs, then fight Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl? I'm never quite sure on that one. I decide to start with Swift, and the damage is great as he just misses Takedown. Our next Swift doesn't take him down, thanks to a crit though, and he uses a Hyper Potion to fully heal. I try Pin Missile next to bring him to about the same point in health, then finish him off quickly with Swift after he missed again. Last was Dragonite, but naturally he just used effect moves, so we just finished him off. Between fights I use a Max Elixir to get my power points back since items outside of combat are allowed in the rules. Finally, the Pokemon Champion. First try and I open with Swords Dance, Pidgeotto is charging for a Sky Attack, I hit Swift for half his health and damage, and he one-shots us like we're nothing. Not a strong start. A few tries later and I get this run where he uses Mirror Move first instead to beef up his own attack. On my second Swords Dance, he uses Wing Attack and takes us to just above half health. I get in one last Swords Dance as he charges his Sky Attack, then we finish him off with Swift. Second is Alakazam, but we outspeed him and take him out in one Twin Needle. Rhydon goes down easily thanks to him just trying for Horn Drill and missing, and Executor is double weak to bugs, so we one-shot him. Water Onix is fifth, so we Swift to bring him to red health. He uses a full restore, we Swift again, he hits Dragon Rage to bring us down to 74 health, and we finish him off. Last is Charizard, and it could one-shot us. We crit Swift, doing less damage than if we didn't, but we get lucky and he misses his Fire Spin that absolutely would have taken us out, giving us our chance for our second Swift, winning the run. That was a weird run, super hard start, easy second quarter, another rough period, then we got Swords Dance and we were able to get through this run at a surprisingly low level. Honestly, if Charizard didn't miss, I probably would have to sit around retrying that fight for an hour. I hope you guys liked that run. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do for next Saturday's Pokemon Challenge, though. As always, though, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, on Twitter, and in the Discord Pokemon Challenges sub-chat. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I can always use more ideas from you guys on what I should do next. Also, check out the playlist in the description if you want to watch all the Pokemon challenges that I've already uploaded. If you guys want to see more Pokemon stuff from me, my friend Whatageek and I finished a Gen 1 randomizer over on his channel, linked in the description. You can also watch myself, Whatageek, and Goosit playing Pokemon Stadium here on my channel. Also, come to my Twitch TV streams and let me know that this video sent you. It's always cool to hear how you found the channel. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.